Okay, where do we even begin?
I have an idea.
Yeah.
Maybe, and this is just I'm going to throw it out there as a theory, a working theory, and I'd like you to help me work through this idea.
I'm here to help.
Maybe, just maybe, maybe we don't just take Hamas's word for what happened.
That's crazy. Now, they have lied to you about absolutely everything.
Yeah. Yeah,
why wouldn't you take them at their word?
Like, if they were to say 500 people were dead at a hospital.
Yes.
Maybe. Perhaps. Just on the off chance.
Throw it out there.
Maybe we just should ignore their complaints completely, because every time they make them, they're lying. Maybe the death count that they've been reporting that comes from Hamas and the Palestinians, maybe we shouldn't believe it at all.
Right. Now, you have nothing to back that up.
Well,
let me just show a video. I got video.
Mm-hmm.
The rockets being launched. You'll see it up in the sky. Something goes wrong, and it starts to come down, and watch it. Follow. Oh, right onto the hospital.
Huh. Now, that's a rocket fired from, it's actually not even Hamas. It's another group, right?
Yeah,
it was, I can't remember, Islamic Jihad or something.
Something, yeah.
Yeah. They fired it from their territory at Israel. The rocket it's hard to tell what exactly happens. Either fails or is shot down in some way.
Yeah.
But the rocket itself goes down to the hospital and then blows up the hospital and kills 500 people. And like, that would be, okay, maybe you believe that. Then you start looking today at the new footage that is out of the actual hospital in daylight.
Okay.
And you know what's weird about this hospital? You know what might have been happening at this hospital? Maybe they were having a block party in the parking lot, and they put all of their patients in the parking lot because that's the only part that seems to be hit at all.
Yeah, it's weird because I saw the hospital. It seems still to be there.
Yeah, how did they all die?
Yeah, well, they were all in the cars, apparently. Yeah. And the parking lot, all the cars are on fire. But there is, remember, a JDAM, that's what they said Israel would have used, of course, because that's what they're using. A JDAM would leave, at least like a little pothole in the parking lot.
I would say a crater would be maybe what it would leave.
Sure, if that's the way Israeli propaganda for you. It would leave, kind of a dent in the park. There is no dent.
It barely dented the cars.
Yes.
Let alone the ground.
So,
it looks like, honestly, it doesn't even look like, when you have like a car fire on the side of the highway? And the police fire department gets there finally and puts it out, and it's just like the shell of itself. It's not even at that level. It's like, it looks like there was a fire nearby cars, and they didn't actually catch on fire. And they're a little brown on the top, and a little charred, and something certainly happened there. But there is, again, the footage from this, we should point out, came from Al-Quds. It didn't even come from the Israelis. This came from Palestinian sources, and these sources are posting these photos. I think, I don't even know why, honestly, at this point, why they would do such a thing, because it's ruining all their propaganda. But like, we had the American media go to Hamas, a group of people who just murdered and raped and decapitated thousands of people, and said, hey, tell us your story about what happened, and we'll just put it on the news. We'll just take it from your mouth and we'll make it news.
Well, the good news is that Biden immediately came out and said, we're going to look into it. Immediately.
He did.
Yeah. Immediately came out and said, like I would, as a president, said, I find that highly unlikely, but we're going to look into it. I tend to not take Hamas at face value, but we're going to look into it. Anything like that would probably be good, but he didn't. In fact, Kirby even went, a shorter distance than that.
Yeah. Now, Biden did seem to say that from what he's seen, it seems like it was a rocket gone wrong or something like that. He threw out some phrase like that briefly. But like
a rocket gone wrong.
I don't know
Whose
if that
rocket?
was yeah, he meant it. I think he did even indicate it was look like a Palestinian rocket from what he had seen. Well, but step back from this for a second, right? There's two sides to this fight, right?
Is there?
No, I'm saying to the fight.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay,
There's the Israeli side, there's the Hamas side.
Yeah.
Okay? One side, the Israelis, were attacked and had all sorts of things happen to them. They're about to try to start a ground invasion. Now, the one way they could possibly lose, right, is drawing a larger conflict out of this because they do something so terrible to the Gazans that the rest of the Arab world unites and starts invading them. Like, that's the one way. They're not going to lose to Hamas, right? They are at risk, though, if something like that happens, if a larger conflict breaks out.
Saying, wait a minute, I want to make sure I understand. So what you're saying is maybe if you use critical thinking, you would say, who wins from this scenario?
Right. The one thing Israel needs to avoid is bombing a hospital and killing 500 people.
Correct.
So at the very least, your instinct should be, well, if it was Israel, had to be a mistake.
Correct.
Right? But instead, it was reported as an intentional bombing of a hospital. On the other side, Hamas, who has no chance to beat Israel in a one-on-one military battle, their only chance, the only thing they want is chaos and a larger war in the area. The thing that they want is fully supported by what they're saying.
Wow. Well,
right?
Look how old-fashioned he's using critical thinking. Listen, here's what you need. Kirby, a retired United States Naval Rear Admiral, and I think he focused a lot on the rear part of it. He said the proper number of civilian casualties in a conflict like this is 0. Okay, that's helpful. Thank you.
Wow,
that's great.
You nailed it.
That is great.
Well,
As a rear admiral, that's why you were in the rear.
Yep. Hamas really screwed that up, didn't they?
Yeah,
because
sure did.
it's not 0 because of what Hamas did.
Yeah.
But you know what? The ideal is 0. Nirvana is a war with 0 civilian casualties. It's not really realistic, though, is it?
No. There's got to be 72 virgins someplace. So there was demonstrations in Baghdad, Iraq, Istanbul, Turkey, Beirut, Amman, Doha, Qatar, of course, in Tehran, in Spain, in Cairo, in Yemen, in Berlin, Germany, in Greece, in Montreal, Canada, in Morocco, all last night. But don't worry about the borders. Don't worry about looking into people here. Don't do it. America, you're perfectly safe. My gosh. This is what happens to a world when you forget what is important and true. What's important to us, America? What's important to us? Our vacations, our jobs, our cars, our houses. What's important to us? And I don't mean now. I mean over the last 20 years. What's been important to us? Who's going to win on American Idol? Is that what's important to us? Because that's what we've concentrated on. We have concentrated so much on our wealth and our way of life that will just never, ever, ever, ever go away, that we have destroyed our children. We have allowed our country to be taken over by radicals. We have allowed our higher institutions of learning to be taken over by Marxist, communist, Islamicists, atheists, whatever they are. They are pumping poison into our system. We have turned a blind eye because we worshiped multiculturalism. We worshiped everybody getting together. You cannot come together. The United States of America cannot be united without a certain group of principles and ideas that we all gather around. One of those is, I don't know, I'm for life. I like life. I hate war. If we're going to fight a war, it's got to be a just war. No, we canceled that. Obama canceled those classes. What's just war? I don't know. You don't kill women and children and execute them in the name of war. You just don't go into houses and do that. See, some of these things, they're not self-evident. They were self-evident back in the 1700s because our churches preached them. Because our churches, shame on all churches, including mine, for not talking about the miracle that was the founding of this nation, the miracle that is the Bill of Rights. Shame on you. And shame on me for allowing it to happen and sitting there and just going, yep. Why are we learning any of this stuff? Oh, it's okay. Yep. It's not okay. This is what happens. This is what happens when you dismiss that one group of religious extremists actually mean it when they say we are trying to wash the world in blood. I cannot believe that we're sitting here talking about which side is right when one side is literally quoting scripture, their scripture, not yours. Just a quick highlight. The end of their story is the exact opposite of the end of our story. Okay? 2 different books, 2 different endings. You know how we always say, well, don't worry, we know how it ends. Yeah, not if you're reading their book. It ends just the opposite way. So that would say, if I believe what I believe, they're on the dark side. And we've been talking about it for years here. But America just doesn't care to pay attention because why? Because why? We all just want to get along. We all just want to be able to have that one guy who's wearing a dress say, I can have a baby. Or that one woman that's now wearing pants saying, I can have a baby and I'm a man. Good America.